We'll be back from the break. You're still watching Smart Means Business. It's 2 minutes past 8 a.m. Now let's start off this hour with our business tip of the day. All right, now the business tip says you shouldn't focus on why you can't do something, which is what most people do. You should focus on why perhaps you can and be one of the few exceptions. You shouldn't focus on why you can do something, which is what most people do. You should, on the other hand, focus on why perhaps you can and be one of those exceptions. This is according to what the business tip says. You shouldn't focus on why you can't do something, which is what most people do, but you should perhaps focus on why you can and be one of the exceptions. That is according to what this particular tip is saying this morning. Well, besides that, now let's get a look at our business quote of the day. And the business quote is coming in from Jim Rohn, who says, formal education will make you a living. This is according to what he said, that formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Well, by the look of things, you get to also realize that why is this so? Is because according to what is coming in from here, is that formal education is like the new narrative. It's the old narrative. It's the old way of doing things. Like we do things formally. You have to go to school, do this and do this. But personal education, where you have to educate yourself from the lessons you've experienced, from all these kind of situations that you encounter, will definitely earn you a fortune, you as an individual. So individually, you always become stronger every day. That is especially when it comes to, when it comes to the kind of situation whereby you're pushing for something and at the end of the day it never works out, but you're learning from those particular shortcomings and everything. So that is something that will make you a fortune. Self-education, how you learn from other people, how you tell yourself this is right or this is not. So that is what the quote is telling us to do. Well, also besides that, now let's cross over to social media trends this morning. Which social media trends are rotating around Ginger City, or what you could call Stone City, in what you could call a city filled up with a lot of one of the tourism cities that we have in our country. Let's take it through the social media and see what the social media users on Twitter had to say about Ginger. All right, now Uganda Uncovered with a tweet. Uganda Railway Museum in Jinja was constructed in 1928. The station is one of Jinja's oldest and historical buildings. It holds artifacts about the railway in Uganda, life during the early days of development, during colonialism, and the railways after independence. So it is worth a visit. That is according to Uganda Uncovered. That is a tweet from Uganda Uncovered. Then furthermore, Ginger City, Uganda, with a tweet. Uganda's first burn specialist hospital opens in Ginger City, located in Kachira on Mwiri Hill. The surgical center that offers specialized care in plastic reconstructive surgery for patients with burns, congenital anomalies, and trauma. It was founded by the Dutch NGO Adomodula Aid. And that is according to Ginger City at Ginger City UG. Ginger's finest, 31 out of 100, says, a good morning from the Republic of Ginger, the adventure capital of East Africa. And a classic, exciting Safari says the most beautiful grand entrance to the mighty Jinja city. No town in Uganda has a city entrance as beautiful as this one. And classic exciting safaris with another tweet, Jinja City at night, hashtag Jinja Nightlife. Sasha at the Fine Beauty with a tweet that every hotel in Jinja is named after the water. The Nile Hotel, source of the Nile Hotel, Victoria Hotel and Victoria Resort. That is according to what Sasha has put in there. Now, also, furthermore, as you look at things, Wood Anaka says that I visited the Uganda Railways Museum today with a friend. It's an interesting glimpse in top of the past, a life of our grandfathers and mothers, and the joy of organized transport system of the train travel. And then UOT Jinja with a tweet, a stunning beautiful sunset in Jinja City. You got a hashtag visit Jinja and experience it. All right, and that is it for our social media trends this morning. Now, besides that, let's look at more of our business updates. And this time around, we're looking at bridging the digital divide, as we're going to look at how China is helping Uganda connect to the world. Obviously, China and Africa have been enjoying bilateral relations for the last decade, not only around transport, but trade, industry, and the world of investment. Now, this time around, we look at how China and Uganda will definitely be working together to give room for at least digitalization and create the entire situation of creating the digital and connecting the worlds, the two countries together, but connecting to the world through the digital space. We have this in our update.
It is with great pleasure to be here today when we are witnessing the signing of the framework agreement for Phase 5 of the NBI EGI project. We are happy to note that once this project is implemented, all district, local governments, and administrative units, including schools, hospitals, and health centers, shall be connected to the national highway, the fiber backbone that will boost digitization of and ease delivery of services. At a national level, the vision for Digital Uganda is a digitally empowered society and a knowledge-based economy through leveraging all-round use of ICTs to digitally transform Ugandan society. By 2040, Uganda seeks to achieve the goal of digitization that inspires innovation and productivity of people, organizations, businesses, government, and extension of broadband infrastructure, which is key in timely realization of this dream. You may also wish to note that the National Development Plan 3 recognizes the gaps Uganda is facing in the utilization of ICTs and as well achieving universal access and connectivity in line with Sustainable Development Goal number 9 of the United Nations. NBI EGI project, therefore, is timely in addressing connectivity gaps in the realization of a digital Uganda by 2040. I want to extend my appreciation to the government of the People's Republic of China for the continued cordial relationship and more especially for extending financial support towards realizing our dream of having a connected Uganda. I would also like to thank the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning, Economic Development and his team for the effort so far made in addressing the funding gap for extending the broadband connectivity. I urge all of us now in this room to work together to ensure that this country not only have robust broadband connectivity, but also ensure affordability as well. Lastly, as we embark on implementing the NBI EGI project, let us not forget that relevant online content is key in achieving full utilization of this broadband connectivity. For this, I will come back to you, Honorable Minister, with a proposition to revert the 1% of the gross annual levy currently remitted to consolidated fund back to the sector to support the various sectors in their digitization effort, making services available online.
The National Backbone Infrastructure Project is an important part of Uganda's national informatization and e-government network construction. The first 3 phases of the project were funded by China Exim Bank, and the previous 4 phases were implemented by Huawei. We are happy to see that through the National Backbone Infrastructure Project, the Ugandan government capacity of managing public service has been greatly improved, and tax revenue in major cities increased by more than 71%, about 200 government applications going online. And I'm also learned that the online application system has been shortened from 1 hour to 2 minutes, and the e-visa processing time has been shortened from 22 days to 4 days, and the band-wide tariff has been reduced to 1/20 of that 7 years ago. And what is important, since 2019, Huawei has trained over 6,000 excellent Ugandan university students through several talents training programs. Many of these young talents have already begun their field work and achieved good results, which highly recognized and praised by the Ugandan government. The 5th phase will cover about 70 new areas. More than 3,000 government and public institutions will benefit by greatly increasing the efficiency of public administration. As e-government services being further improved, more than 2,000 local jobs will directly or indirectly created with more prominent social and economic benefits. Lastly, I would thank honorable ministers and your team for the long-term support to China-Uganda cooperation in various fields, and I wish this project could be implemented smoothly and achieve a great success.
All right, and of course, that is His Excellency Zhang Linzong, who is the Chinese ambassador to Uganda, and Honorable Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, Minister of State for ICT, in regards to that particular issue of bridging the digital divide and looking at how China will be helpful to Uganda in connecting to the world. Of course, to have more of the insightful discussion regarding this one and rotating around this issue, we are joined by Barija Andrew, who is definitely going to give us more of the insightful understanding of how this will be implemented and how China will be very influential to this same space. All right, Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
By the look of things here, as we continue to look at how China is continuing to grow its relations with Uganda, now we talk the digital space and what is going to be happening with this one here.
Well, China for so long has always been at the center of helping out Uganda in quite so many aspects. And of course, as we still get to realize that as we speak, quite lots of government-related agencies like of course, what you had in the speeches in there, where we shall be looking at the different local governments being connected to, that's the national highway. That is, advancement in the digitization, looking at the fact that the National Development Plan 3 is trying to resolve the issues that are related with why limited availability of ICT infrastructure. There is a way it can really impact a nation in that way. And also one of the reservations we get to see as a result of this is the aspect of, when there is improved infrastructure, that means we shall be having quite a number of innovations, enhanced innovations. And of course, we know that the innovation space really largely rotates around the digitization aspect. And then this will be something very, very crucial. Of course, also addressing that is 2040 vision, which looks at digitizing that is Uganda, and of course quite so many aspects. Well, that can be really backed up by a report that was last week. I think that was a week ago, where government had earmarked 200 that is million US dollars to fast track digital transformation, and expecting an extra 150 million US dollars. That is from the China Exim Bank to lay the last mile of the fiber cable, so that all data of Ugandans is pulled together and government information is stored, that is in the cloud. So we're looking at the aspect of cloud storage in here, and this comes as a result of an established IT structure, IT infrastructure, and that is something that is very, very remarkable. And also we see that so many other sectors that interconnect with the IT sector. For example, agriculture will be enhanced, because we see quite so many people that are forming all these related, systems, applications that drive agriculture. Now we have online farm warehouses, whereby people that can link the farmers to the buyers in the market. This time around, we see that there is elimination of middlemen due to ICT. So you get to realize when the ICT infrastructure is favorable, there is quite that flow. Other sectors that interrelate with it, work together with it. We see the transportation industry, seeing the Uber, the safe borders. It's all related, to this whole IT. So once we have, I know she mentioned about the fiber optics. Most of our internet, of course, has been transmitted through what we call airwaves, but in way advanced countries it goes through what we call the fiber optics, which has these are the underground cables in there. And that is that means when you have those cables, there is increment in the fiber, they call it the bandwidth internet, and that's when you have internet running so fast. We are talking about 500 MBs per second. That is quite crazy. Most of our internet traditionally has been on 600 kilobytes, and that's the speed. I'm talking about traveling at a rate of 65 kilobytes per second, but now we shall be having like about 1 GB per second. If there is a way out in there, then that would be very crazy. And looking at still at this very aspect, China is also one of the pioneers, was among the first countries actually to get into the 5G. That was, I think, 2020, during when COVID-19 had just coming into the country. So when we can have such support of the government that is always ahead, and now we see that they are eyeing 6G. So that is really something that is very remarkable, and I believe it will be something very beneficial for this country, being supported by a government which is really looking up to technology at the top. Now we see here, according to a report here, that the digital transfer, according to the reports which we are talking about here, which we are seeing in the e-governance, like looking at government systems being digitalized, e-governance, looking at improved healthcare systems, looking at better education facilities, modern agriculture, I mentioned it, it's also in the report, e-commerce, taxation, you know, IFRIS is one of the examples, but it's just the infant stage of digitization in collecting taxes, but it can be much more better than this, you know, and of course looking at using the internet to fight climate change, you know. So all this cannot really be efficient unless we have a sustainable digital structure. It shows you that the digital infrastructure plays a role in quite so many aspects. You know, cybersecurity, you know, telecommunication, communication networks, which, you know, communication is a key aspect when it comes to economic growth and development, and so many of that. So we anticipate to hear more from this, see more developments, and above all, see the impact of such an engagement between the ambassador of China, the ministry, and the state minister for ICT in this regard.
Well, yeah, and of course, China does continue to at least make sure that it's going to be helping out Uganda, not only from the business angle. Now you get to realize that they're also helping us out from the aspect of innovation and technology. How this is going to be done is China will be helping us to connect to the world in this ever-changing digital space, as you've definitely been able to see that and understand from what Andrew has been actually breaking down here, as well as what was happening during this particular meetup between Honorable Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao from the Ministry of ICT and His Excellency Zhang Lizong, who is the Chinese ambassador to Uganda. Well, as we're heading into the break, also remember to grow your investments with Zabu. Besides the fact that the world is changing into an ICT driven model, but also saving for investment should be something you should be able to consider as we grow and get deeper into understanding money and financial matters within the country. Star 292 hash is the USSD code that you can use to grow your investment and easily kickstart off your investment journey with the platform Zabu. Zabu, my money, my future. All Tech East Africa, do something new. The markets are fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays, but from Monday to Friday you can get them open from 8:15 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Zabu, my money, my future. All Tech East Africa, do something new. Well, do something new today. Invest in government bonds and other securities available on the platform. Well, after the break, when we do return, we have something to do with sports business and the entertainment business as we continue to grow deeper in understanding the scope of the business world. But well, that aside, you will be getting to have all these updates in a space where you will grow and understand more from other sectors of the business. Well, good morning.